There was a stretch where it was nothing but ethnic slurs, and wow, shit, man, it was not the right time to be working on that at church.
Those damn dirty popos are pretty sensitive.
I was at a funeral, okay? But I mean, the podcast work never ends.
So outrageous the toll. You can lose all you have. We refuse to give in to the down that takes all to survive. You must have the will. How this movie doesn't end the way we want all the time. And he shouts at the moon, she's gone. Fears overcome. He was walking a mile. He was walking alone.
I think it was years ago when we started this that someone told me I should never show up drunk. Or maybe I hallucinated that.
Yeah, someone did say that. I remember them saying that.
Mm-hmm. It's terrible.
Well, I don't know. I don't drink anymore, so
Yeah.
I couldn't show
Yeah,
up
me
drunk.
neither.
Like, it would be
That's even worse, you know?
Drinking just makes me sleepy, so I would just be asleep.
Yeah, drinking will at this point drinking would give me the big sleep.
Oh God.
The kind that your dog got when he went to the vet the last time, and for a while your mom just he went to a farm to play with the other dogs, and then eventually she had to break it to you. He'd be like, "Oh, can I visit him? Can I visit him?" Yeah, okay. Well, he went to sleep. Oh, when are you getting up? No, he took the big sleep. He's with Jesus now. How does that work? And your mom's trying to describe the actual afterlife to you when you're 7, and you can't really comprehend anything further than when my next bowl of cereal is coming, and now you have to consider eternity, and it just fucks you up for the rest of your life. And that's what it's like being Catholic.
Over here, it's just they died. It sucks.
Well, I think it's just mainly in the U.S. we're so divorced from life and death in most of our situation. Most people live in the city or in the suburbs where it's not like you're going to see animals dying even with any frequency.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like in agrarian society where if you grow up on a farm, well, life and death is part of your normal routine. Animals live, animals die, you kind of can make the connection. When you grow up in the suburbs of the U.S., the first time you see a dead bird, you're probably 8, and it just fucks you up.
Okay.
Yeah, then all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, death is a thing, and then grandpa dies, and you're really sad, but then you get cake, and you start to think, well, when's grandma kicking off? I'm hungry. Because Americans are shit.
Yeah, that's great. Associate dead relatives with candy, that's a good idea.
It works. I mean, it really takes the sting out of death when it comes with cake.
I'm really amazed sometimes at the cultural differences. Very, very intriguing, though.
We're way more advanced. What can I say?
Well, definitely. Less traumatized kids, too.
No, our kids are all massively fucked up because this is really just to hide the fact that, there's a large portion of our country that, where we still believe that the best way to teach someone about sex is to just not say anything until they get married and hope they figure it out on their own.
One of the most overrated things in existence, so...
Sex or sex ed?
I mean, sex ed is non-existent, you just told me.
Well, in many places. I mean, then again, in other places, the teacher will hold your hand while you put the condom on the carrot. Because they won't provide you with an actual penis. Because, no. Okay, I'm generalizing, obviously, with my experience. I went to Catholic school. They did provide me with a penis. The priests were very accommodating. But, in public schools, they don't get that. That's why you pay extra for a parochial education.
How about those really erotic movies? Like I distinctly remember watching a movie with someone actually getting an erection, I think. And that's how we learned what that is. You watched those in school?
No.
No? It was very frightening.
I don't know. Jade's from far away. Did you watch the penis video?
Probably.
Do you remember the girth
Hmm.
of the penis in the video?
It was
No,
decent.
How was the dick game in the penis video?
I don't remember.
It might be there's probably really only one penis video. They made one perfect one and then they stopped and say, okay. They don't change much really.
Oh, I will.
Do they?
When you get past like 60, they do.
I know we definitely saw a Miracle of Birth video. Get to see, like, cameras in the birth
Yeah.
canal.
Oh
stuff.
no.
Miracle of Birth. I've seen those. Those videos are actually just about as terrifying as blood on the pavement during driver's ed. They're both terrifying, traumatic things.
I'm getting queasy. Do you guys want to do a D&D podcast?
I don't know. I want to talk about horrific childhood trauma.
Fuck.
Hi everybody, welcome to Funk Dunk Play Season 2 episode, good God almighty, is it really 27? Jesus Christ, it feels like only yesterday that we were still sitting here going, fuck, when are we going to record 27? And here we are, recording 27. How time flies. Okay, so where we left off at the end of last episode, which I just, while I was waiting for my computer to stop being a dork, I actually did re-listen the very, very end. Let me just reset the scene for you guys. You are in a giant earthen cavern, seemingly several, I wouldn't say several miles underground because, Jesus Christ, that would be scary, but a ways underground. You did see a whole group of people eating lunch, and you ignored them. And you went down a hallway, you opened a door, it found a coin. You saw a goat in a cage, which turned out to be your average, generic, non-magical, non-talking goat. And a seemingly undead young lady by the name of Sarah, with long, pointy fingers, has just finished saying, rhymingly so, that y'all motherfuckers have come here to die. She said that, she claimed that she had been given information about you guys from Gold, and that Gold Gold thought you would fall for the goat thing, and she didn't, and you're in a cave. What are my lovely ladies doing?
Okay, so Elisa's just gonna stand there, cross her arms, and say, "So you're working for the bus, then?"
Well, I do believe you could say that. At least we have mutual purposes.
You do realize that they're planning to kill everyone, yes? Everyone who isn't a bat. Presumably including you.
And she will give you this look with just the most deadpan stare thing. You do realize I'm already dead, right?
From what I gathered, this thing that they're trying to summon is going to obliterate everything, dead and undead. Anything that walks is going to be gone.
I've already died, don't you get it? Dying's easy, I've done it a couple times. They still show up, kill everything, ooh, scary, scary. And then what happens? Oh, there's the butts, right? And then there's me. And who's more powerful?
So you want a big empty world to yourself, with no one left to prey on.
Well, there'll be hundreds of butts to feed on now, won't there?
How long do you think those will last?
You've never raised livestock, have you?
Fair.
It's all about animal husbandry, and you have to maintain a good breeding stock. And then, it's really important to keep the genetics, and you don't want too much inbreeding, or else you get really wacky tasting blood, and that'll get you fucked up, sister, I'm telling you. But listen, you haven't paid much attention to, I almost feel like you've never actually farmed.
You want to breed butts.
No, you got me there. Yeah, have you ever eaten a bat? I'm curious. Do they even taste good?
Well, what can I say? And I've eaten one butt, you'd be getting them all, but, they're not bad. I mean,
Wet blood.
I'm just saying, why follow them when you can help us destroy them and have free reign on the rest of mortal kind?
Just let me know when I need to roll persuasion.
well, the thing you gotta realize, what's your name? Ellie? Yeah, Ellie. Is, it's really not just up to me. See, I'm a representative of a larger, what's the word I'm looking for? Cadre? I guess my point is, the vampire what made me is working with the butts. Now he's the original vampire. The first one. So, that makes me, the second most powerful vampire ever, which would make me the second most powerful creature in the world, after the butts destroy everything else. I'm trying to see why teaming up with you would be a good idea when it would mean probably, not getting to be an evil vampire queen.
I have a question too, if you don't mind.
She turns around as if she just noticed you.
Nice, thank you.
She, excuse me, I'm sorry. Excuse me, man, I forgot you were here. Yes, you're, she, makes a big show trying to remember your name. You're them, right? Them. How you doing, them?
How does gold come into all of this?
She pauses for a second. You can kind of, see the gears kind of moving in the back of her head. And he goes, he does. He said those things.
He said those things.
You could always roll insight to see if it seems like she's hiding something.
What would he gain from us dying? Could follow that up with an insight, yeah? See what, when she answers,
Okay.
if she's being honest. 17. I'm just watching her closely while she answers.
What would gold have to
Gain by us
from
dying.
that? By you dying, right? Well, you see, you guys, you served your purpose. That you did pretty much everything you were supposed to do. All the things you were supposed to sweep under the rug have been swept under the rug. All the missing bits have been cleaned up, tidied up, and thrown in a little wastebasket and put out on the curb for the garbage van to take away. Now, the only bits that could get in the way now are the broom and the dustpan. I'm stretching the metaphor a little bit, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying.
I can't argue with that. That seems reasonable enough. Doesn't mean we're going to comply, of course. But I see what you're saying.
Okay, and with the 17 insight, by the way, you can't tell whether or not she's telling the truth. She is an ancient vampire. They're pretty good at subterfuge. However, you can kind of tell that maybe it's almost like she doesn't realize that you can see her as well as you can. When she was looking at Eliza, she had a little bit more of a mask on, facially. And looking at you, there's a little bit of uncertainty. She doesn't look quite as she has quite as much conviction in her own words.
Something about it that kind of rattles her a bit.
Either something with it that rattles her, or something that she let her guard down a little bit. Maybe she thinks that it, like I said, maybe she thinks that it can't see her as well. Maybe she is rattled a little bit by the question, she didn't expect it.
Yeah.
You almost get the feeling she thought that by now she'd be cutting both your throats. But she's unfortunately, she was raised to be very polite, and you're having a polite conversation right now.
Oh.
So what is it that you want, exactly?
Oh, do you mean from here? Right here? I want to kill the two of you. That's what I want to do.
Yes, okay. So, about your master, do you enjoy following him?
Do I enjoy working? Of course I enjoy working for my master. He gave me unlife.
Yes, and you have your unlife now. So why don't you become the master? I have a very long to-do list, but I could throw that on there too.
Her brow sort of furrows when you say, why don't you just, like, go against your master's will?
Mm.
And she's just looks at you like, what do you mean?
I have done what you have done my entire life.
You hate people too? Oh, girl, I didn't know you did that. Wait, are you a girl? I can't tell. It's dark.
No one can tell. But
There's sometimes a girl.
a short while ago, someone said something very, very important to me. And that is, the most boring thing you can do is just do what you're told. And believe me, ever since I changed that, it's been a real party.
Is that why you're here, doing exactly what you were told to do?
We're here gathering information.
Like you were
I
told?
do so on my own purposes.
We're curious. If we weren't interested in what is going on, we wouldn't be here.
So you're not doing what you're told. You wanted to anyway. I get it. You just happen to want to do what you're told. I want to do what I'm told, too. We have a lot in common that way.
Now, I have an idea. I'm gonna shoot a telepathic message over to it. Just, casually.
I think I'm going to have to attack her. What do you think?
I don't know, there's just something about her that sort of fascinates me. Right now, I'd kind of hate to kill her, but...
Oh, I'm not planning to kill her, but I don't see this conversation going anywhere the way it's going now.
I trust you.
Okay, so I guess I will make one persuasion attempt before I do this. Since I haven't actually, brute forced it with my persuasion stat.
Yeah.
All right, then. So, I'm going to make an offer. Would you be interested in joining us if we could help you to, say, make you the master of the vampires? We're going to be slaughtering a lot of bats, and that could include a certain someone who's in your way when it comes to advancement.
I want to help you out on your roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need to touch you for bend luck, so I will give you a... Yes, 4.
Okay, a full 4? 26.
That is indeed a number that you've rolled.
Mm.
Math says it is, yeah.
Alright. Now, I'm going to describe to you exactly what happens next. Because that's what a DM's supposed to do.
Mm.
And I thought
Usually.
I might start that.
Is that in the
All
DM
right.
guide?
No, it's a house rule.
Okay.
I've started on my own. Your words about about her, or, having the ability to, become the master, to, basically become the lord of all vampires, because she is said she is the child of the original vampire.
Yeah, and she's second, so we just gotta kill the first one.
She's literally a second generation vampire, so she's like, well, she's really powerful as it is, but to defeat him, well, yeah, she would become nigh upon infinitely more powerful, and you can see for like about maybe 10 seconds, there's a real internal conflict going on in her head, as the concept of ultimate power is sort of fighting with the ingrained natural subservience of a vampire to the one who sired them, which is actually sort of a magical compulsion to be subservient.
Mm.
It doesn't matter if you even know this. You can see she's arguing with herself in her head. Like she's actually having difficulty with it. And then she just like scrunches her face up and shakes her head. It's really adorable, by the way. If you're into that, it's the cutest little thing. It's very anime. And then her head snaps up, and she raises up her right hand up over her head and snaps her fingers. A ball of light appears above her, and as it appears, she leaps into the air ridiculously high for considering she's a very average height person, maybe like 5'8", 5'7". But she leaps about 15 feet in the air, backwards. While she's in the air, something which had looked like a part of the wall, even to Eliza's dark vision, moves from the wall and steps so that it's under her, and she lands on the shoulder of quite possibly the largest iron golem you have ever seen in your life. And she lands dramatically on its shoulder.
It claps.
Yeah. And she strikes a pose. And she pats the golem on the back of the head and goes, "Well, Captain Fancy, it appears we have new orders. We're going to go with these two guys for a little while and see if we don't die or something. It's been a long time since I've said this, but fuck the man."
Fuck him indeed.
And the iron golem, which, by the way, is relatively featureless, in that he's not like Muddler who wears clothing and stuff and like can kind of like pass for a really ugly human, you could almost say. He's obviously a giant metal robot looking dude. But his head has molded into it the most dapper top hat you've ever seen. And a monocle.
It's gonna look him up and down and say, "Captain Fancy."
He moves down, reaches up as if to tip his top hat, but this is part of his head. He just sort of like nods his head at you. "Charmed, I am sure." But it is the most charming robotic drone you've ever heard.
Oh, we needed one of those.
He is Captain Fancy with his 19 charisma. He's the most charismatic iron golem ever.
Okay, so I guess with that fight not happening, Elisa will look over at, Sarah. And
Okay, so I have a question. We were led to believe that this place had research regarding the Nightmare King and how to summon it. Is that true? Because I left all those scientists up there just in case I needed to interrogate them afterward.
Oh no, that was a complete and total lie.
Okay, did you want to eat any of them before we go?
And she kind of gives you a look of, "You didn't talk to any of them, did you?"
No, I was saving them for later.
They're, how can I put this? When a vampire eats a person, but leaves like just barely enough for the back end of their brain to mimic human movement and stuff, that's what you get. I don't know the real word for it because there isn't really a good vampire mythology in this world yet, but let's just call them zombies.
Oh, lovely. We know someone who specializes in zombies. In fact, I'm planning to give him another visit soon.
Oh, well, that's mighty convenient, because all I can ever get them to do is eat lunch.
Yeah, no, they'll make good additions to Goris's army.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
Oh, he is such a sweetheart. I love his rat.
Lovely fellow.
The best rat. Oh, the best rat. So angry.
Big mood there.
It looks
Angry rat.
between Eliza and Sarah. It's like, there's a spark going on.
both crazy killers.
Mm-hmm.
In order to help facilitate communication a little bit more, now that she's made her dramatic reveal of the golem, Sarah leaps back down off the golem. Because we were having to have kind of a shouted conversation from this distance. Well, not very shouted, but at least at high voices. Now, there's only one little problem. Silly me, I totally forgot to mention this. There was a backup plan in case I failed to kill you, you see. Oh golly, it's kind of embarrassing, but
Is the elevator broken?
in renouncing my master, I sort of broke our connection, which will probably make him think I'm, been destroyed. In which case, and the ground begins to shake with a huge rumble, and you hear this a sound wave of a large cacophonious boom echo through from the direction of the tunnel and through the room.
Well, that sucks.
Oh yeah, the whole place was supposed to self-destruct if I didn't kill you.
So I imagine there's another way out, yes? Or at least can we get within 500 feet of the surface, or some surface?
Okay, we're going to make a quick head count of who's here. There's Eliza, there's It, there is, Reggie, there is, okay, the sheep doesn't count, because he's sort of ethereal.
Yeah, there's a goat in a cage, there's Mr. Fancy, and there's Sarah.
The goat familiar doesn't count, because he can be desummoned. Did you bring your owl?
No, left her with Muddler.
So the owl is still on the upper level with your point.
Mm.
Okay. Alright, so there's only really basically 3 people. And she goes, well, I really shouldn't have done this, but... Okay, I could make a little bit of room, hold on. And she sort of like makes a complicated hand gesture at Captain Fancy, who kneels down onto the ground, and a hatch opens up in his chest plate, revealing a rather nice, like, it's kind of like a bedazzled coffin. It's a coffin, but it's got lots of really pretty rocks and stones, and like one little heart made of diamonds is cute. And it's got a nice satin lining. And around it are basically just a bunch of knickknacks. And like 3 dressers just full of random shit. And she goes, if you help me make a little bit of room around the coffin, maybe we could all fit inside Captain Fancy, and he can probably get us to the surface. Can't you?
Do we really need the flaming guy?
Hey, I'm right here!
Yeah, and do we really need him?
Ooh, I could probably get rid of that poster. But no touching the elf porn. The elf porn stays. I don't care if you have to die, the elf porn stays.
Alright, let's get the shit out.
Okay, so yeah, I'll start taking stuff out. I'll use Mage Hand at the same time to speed it up.
Okay. While that is happening, there is, you hear another loud boom, and, you can kind of feel another shockwave of force come through, and little rocks start falling from the ceiling, but not like big ones. But you can kind of tell, like, everything sort of becoming, like, unstable. You finally sort of get enough out. There's an end table, a couple lamps, there's a rocking chair for some reason. There's an entire treasure chest, but it's full of nothing but yo-yos. And she just asks you not to judge her when you notice that.
Of course not.
So she's like, we all go through phases, okay? But eventually you are able to clear up enough room.
My yo-yo had spikes on it.
You're able to fit all 3 of you in, around the coffin, and she sort of like gets into the coffin, and it's kind of neat. When she gets into the coffin, like just coming from it, almost like a person getting into a mech suit, just straps go around securing her in, as if she's like, about to drive like a mech or like a really big fork truck. And then that closes, and the entire just front end of the golem just shuts, and you are left in absolute pitch darkness, and all you can hear is the occasional ping, ping, ping of rocks falling and landing on Captain Fancy.
Is he going out the same way we came?
Or up through the ceiling, or who knows. He's digging.
Yeah, but we need to
up
grab the rest of the guys, so...
well, they were in the upper tunnel above the elevator, so they're
Well, that's
close
not
to the
collapsing?
surface.
The rest of the guys is what? It's just Muddler and Susan, right?
Yeah.
Muddler, Susan, Mulberry, and the sheep. Right, it's the sheep. No, the sheep.
The sheep
probably
can be
is-
anywhere.
A sinister sheep, remember, is ethereal.
It's a teleporting demon.
he's a force of nature more than anything else. That's why I say we don't have to take him into account. He'll always end up there.
Okay,
Even
so
if
yeah,
we want to leave him behind. he
Muddler
won't.
and Susan are probably fine, and Muddler is protecting Mulberry, I assume. It's okay.
Yeah.
I was worried about the sheep, mostly.
Here's the thing, and I want you
The
to
sheep
realize
is looking down on you for that.
the sheep knows that, and is like, fucking idiot. I just was watching here to hope to see you get murdered. I'll just teleport to wherever you're gonna be. I'm gonna judge you then, douche.
Phew. Thank God.
All right, and basically, the pinging noise just rocks falling from the ceiling, and then you hear kind of muffled. It sounds like someone trying to say "hold on," but there's really not much for you to hold on to because you did kind of just make room in a storage space.
Mm.
I mean, just saying, it's not going to be the most comfortable. I'm not going to take damage, but it's not going to be pleasant. And then there's a pause, and then you hear a noise go. Then you hear a very slightly more metallic version of Sarah's voice going, okay, this speaker works good. Hold on tight. Oh god, I feel so silly saying this because I'm a vampire, but this is gonna suck! And then you kind of feel like everything drops maybe 2 feet, and then immediately you have the sensation of your stomachs falling down into somewhere around your feet as you are pressed down to the ground, to the bottom of the chamber you're in, which that sensation lasts for all of about 2, maybe 3 seconds, at which point all motion within the thing stops, and you smack up against the top of it. But it doesn't fall back down again. You do, but it doesn't. As everything just shakes as you begin to realize that apparently Captain Fancy has punched a hole in the ceiling and is climbing out through the actual mother rock of the planet itself. He's a very strong boy.
Oh,
You could almost say he's winning a persuade roll against the ceiling.
That's the way he does it, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not really as much, like, moving the ground as in, like, he's just, like, giving it a look and just getting out of the way. Yeah.
So are we going to have the conversation about where to go next as we're climbing up, or wait until we get to the surface?
Actually, you can have it actually as you're climbing up would probably make sense because...
I mean, we're all just hanging out in the dark here, but we can hear each other's voices, so...
Yep, because she has the intercom going between the inside of the coffin and the inside of that.
Has the intercom going.
Yep, on this anime robot that materialized.
Yes, her little iron giant.
Alright, so we've got a few places we can go. My ultimate plan is to slaughter all of the butts at their manor or wherever they may be. But we are currently assembling forces for that. My first plan there was to go visit Gorus, see if maybe we can recruit his undead army to help. There's also the matter of gold to attend to. What do we plan to do there? Actually, you might know, Sarah. Is Gold working with the Butts? Or is he just trying to get rid of us because he's a douche?
Oh, neither. That was a lie.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one less person we have to kill.
Yeah, I was trying to turn you against your allies on the off chance that you did survive. Then you could still, pursue the goals of my master by reducing the strength of the Church of the Traveler, because you were pretty much the only people that could stop us were the Church of the Traveler and the other two big religions. That we could destroy one of them, then there was no way that we could lose. But, that was our plan, but,
clever.
yeah, he had nothing to do with it. I mean, okay, I guess, I I guess you could say, like, he inadvertently did, because we did plant the false information with his spies, but they didn't know. They thought they were being so clever, but, all you gotta do is eat one or two people's brains, and before a while they're saying whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yes, very clever. It actually worked.
Well, Sarah explains that it exhales very audibly. Like, oh god.
Elisa was prepared to kill Gold, but he was kind of low on the shit list, so...
Did it just, like, have a golemgasm in there or something? What the hell was that?
It was a sigh of relief.
Ah, okay.
Because while they did have a fight, and they have problems, right? It has problems with Gold and the way things are done. It just wasn't prepared yet for that possibility. So there's some relief there.
Don't worry, as your DM, I was prepared for that possibility, and it would have been hilarious when you finally confronted me, like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? And he was spending the entire fight not knowing why you were attacking him or why you thought he betrayed you.
It's a very tragic moment with it just dissolved in tears and like a whole Hollywood moment. Like Oscar
It would have
worthy.
been beautiful.
Alright, so, I assume, Sarah, that you have quite a few connections in your time. Do you know anyone else who might be, useful in this quest to wipe out the Butt lineage?
Well, to be honest, most of the people I know, really well are people who were, in the service of my master, and they're all, a lot of them are really powerful, but though I will admit that sometimes I've been a bit naughty and gone out, and I only met him once or twice, but there is this fella who goes around stab at night, and no one ever really see him except me, because I can, see in the dark and sense heartbeats and all that fun stuff. It's pretty cool. And he wears like a mask, and he's got a cape, and he fights for truth and justice and vengeance and breaking people's bones who he doesn't like.
Oh, lovely.
He could be useful.
Does he dress like a bat? I wonder.
He does have sort of like it's not really black, it's more like a navy blue, so it blends in better with shadows, really, because black kind of sticks out. But, that's why you can always see a bat, but, like, a nun will hide.
There is a small wrinkle in this plan, though. Stab was under siege last time we left it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The thing is, this fella, he would be pretty cool with that, because he really, really hated the Butt family. All I know is, I don't know his secret identity, because I never bothered, but his symbol was a circle with 2-letter X's in it. And people called him 2X because that's what the symbol was.
If this guy is running around Stab, have I ever heard of him? It
has heard, in the last maybe 5 years, stories of a sort of, a masked, well, not really a vigilante, because not like he, is a crime fighter, but sort of just someone who, to use anachronistic terms, sort of a combination between Batman and Robin Hood. And that he skulks through the night in a cape, robbing from the rich to give to the poor, basically. He's famous for, comforting the afflicted and afflicting the comforted, so to speak. And the church has always kind of viewed him as not any kind of an enemy of theirs, because everywhere he goes, he fucks up the status quo, so the church is kind of like, yeah, the Traveler probably smiles on that dude. As long as he doesn't fuck with our stuff, we're not going to fuck with his stuff.
So, but we didn't try to recruit him.
No, because no one, even the church doesn't know his real name.
Okay.
They don't know where to find him.
So we can't just go to our spies and ask them to...
No, the church has tried to track him down.
Not
but
surprising.
somehow they cannot actually. He's like the one person they have never been able to track down. They say he is almost as elusive as a ghost, as if he isn't even real. However, you have just heard from Sarah that she's actually met him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, she's a vampire, and as far as you know, the church doesn't employ vampires because there are very few of them in this entire world.
As fascinating as this fella sounds, and yeah, it would be a good idea to at least try to track him down. I like your idea of talking to Goris. I miss him.
Yes, we'll introduce you to Goris, and then we can go look for this other guy.
I told you I've already met him.
Oh, yes.
I know him quite well.
So it'll be a reunion of old friends.
I wonder what state the prison is in right now, with our friend Reggie dead and the siege on Stab.
What? I'm dead?
Not you,
I
buddy.
wish.
Pat.
Oh, okay.
We should really give you a different name. How about...
Yes, that's very confusing, there being more than one Reggie in the entire fucking world. I can't believe that there were more than one set of parents who thought Reginald sounds like a good name.
Shh! Just call him Nald instead of Reg.
Naldi.
Oh yeah, you're asking Bo what would the condition of the prison would be now that Reginald Butt is dead. And Sarah comes back on the intercom again. Yeah, that's a really weird thing. Is I did hear that, you know, everything that happened at his estate, and then that he was apparently turned into a really interesting flagpole decoration. But, okay, is it going to sound weird, and maybe I'm being paranoid, because I am sort of, like, not under the thrall of my master for the first time ever, so maybe I'm just being weird. So hear me out. I kind of have a thing where I can keep track of, like, important people in the organization, like, a little bit, just so if I need to, like, shoot them a psychic message, you know, or, you know, if they need help, I can be like, oh, that one's dying, I better go, that sort of thing. And I felt Reginald Butt die, and I heard the reports about them finding his corpse on a stick, like a really gross kebab.
Did you feel his balls fall off too?
And his face melt.
I didn't pay attention to his testicles, no. But here's the thing. Like, right before you guys came into the cave, I could almost swear I could sense him again. But then I was concentrating on you guys, and then I, turned away from my master, renounced all my vows, and I kind of cut all my connection with all of them, so I can't, sense any of them anymore. So it might have just been, an echo or something. I don't think those things echo in caves, though.
I have an idea of what might have happened.
It will be even better killing him a second time.
Now, what do you think happened? I'm really, that would be nice to know.
I'm curious if he's become a meat puppet for Goris. That would be delightful.
I don't think that would work. At least not the way Goris makes them, because they have to still have a conscious mind, or else he doesn't think it's any fun.
It is his old boss.
Yeah, but even then, I think, he just would, if he animated Reginald's corpse, he just sort of, he just get depressed every time he looked at it, knowing that Reginald himself wasn't in there suffering.
Whatever happened to him, Eliza, I hope you let me get a shot in this time too, because he's starting to really annoy me.
You'll have to move quickly then.
Alright,
and then, right at that moment, there's a giant shudder, and a feeling again of intense motion pushing down on you. Like, the golem has launched forward again, upwards, and then, for a second, you experience weightlessness. And you know what it would be like to be in outer space, even though you've never heard of outer space. For a minute, you're just like that like gif of Stephen Hawking floating outside of his wheelchair. Woo! And then reality comes back as Captain Fancy plummets to the ground and lands with an extremely jarring thud, banging you guys around the inside of the cabin like ping pong balls.
Ouch.
But for a minute, it was super fun.
Whee!
Okay, so I guess as Elisa's getting out of Captain Fancy, she'll ask.
Which is a sentence you just said.
She can't quite do that yet.
Okay, well, once you open the door so I can get out.
It is daytime. Sarah can, like, basically barely get the words out right now with the intercom, saying, okay, bit of a problem I didn't really think of. Gosh, scatterbrains. Woo! Underground, the day-night cycle doesn't affect me far enough away, sun and moon and stars and stuff. Up here, not stay awake. Captain Fancy! Hold on. Captain Dabba Baba. Da. Saba Daba. No, Captain Fancy. Keep coughing shut to the dark, no matter what anyone says. But other than that, like, help these guys and try to make sure we don't do a big die.
Isn't
Okay,
she
so
adorable?
is Captain Fancy letting us out, or are we staying inside?
Basically, you hear, like, first a little bit of whirring as, like, you can kind of, like, see, like, little, like, armored bars sort of, like, come out and encircle the coffin. Basically, they're to make sure that no one can get in at her while she's asleep. And then, once that has happened, you can feel Captain Fancy kneeling down again, and the big, like, chest plate door in front of you swings open. You're looking now into the early afternoon daylight. You're in a, one of the relatively nondescript fields that seem to be everywhere, considering I'm a really boring DM and everything takes place in Prairie Land this campaign. But hell, I designed the world beforehand and I'm just going to stay consistent with it.
Is there any sign of our guy with
Muddler
stone
and...
attached?
If you're looking around just like in general for signs of Muddler or the carriage or whatever, off to what you can tell is actually roughly your southeast. You can make out what kind of looks like in the distance some sort of a carriage or conveyance of some kind, which has, at least you can see like 2 horses attached to it. It's sort of in the distance. Other than that, it's all pretty much just there's a groundhog or 2, a couple birds in the sky. They're really boring birds.
Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna head for that chariot, and I mean, Elisa's not really thinking about Muddler and Susan right now, but I'm sure it will bring it up. Like, we might have to look inside the entrance to see what's going on if they're not outside already.
You get to where the carriage is, and yes, it is definitely the Walpian fast chariot. The horses are at once relieved to see you, and at first terrified of the hulking form of the 15-foot tall metal monstrosity, but once they get a good look at him, they calm right the hell down. It's kind of like they're shocked at the general size of him, but then they look and they're like, nah, he's good.
Smart horses. But the carriage is empty.
But the carriage is empty, and the opening to the cave is still the way you had left it, which is wide open. You had left it gaping. Really, anyone could have walked in.
Yeah, anybody who knew it was here, in the middle of nowhere.
Alright, it's gonna like walk down the stairs and see if like this part's collapsed too, or if it's the way we first saw it.
Nope, it looks Yeah, it looks pretty good. Everything seems to be in relatively decent repair. You know, I mean, there's a few stress cracks in the wall that you're pretty sure weren't there before. But remember, this was... It never looked like a cave in this section.
Yeah, they
It looked like the inside of a building.
collapsed below the elevator.
Yeah. So then it's gonna run to the elevator.
Okay, as you're making your way to the elevator, you hear a noise, which sounds like whoomp, zhuzh, whoomp, zhuzh, whoomp, zhuzh.
Are Mother and Susan having sex?
Fuck no. No.
So, are you going to continue on your way to the end?
Fuck.
Okay, so you make it to the end, and there you see a sight which you probably were not prepared for.
Oh, God.
The entire elevator shaft is caved in. It is not even a hole anymore. All right? And standing at the edge of it is Muddler. He is holding Susan by her base. And he's using the top of Susan like a shovel to try to dig. And that is the noise of him bashing her into the ground and trying to shift the ground with her head.
Oh my God, Mother, stop! It runs over and shakes him as best as it can. Susan, no!
He looks over. He looks at you. Looks at the cave in. Looks at you. Looks at the cave in. Looks at Susan. Looks at you. Looks at the cave in. Oh, I thought you were down there.
How does Susan look? Is she okay?
She was helping me. It was her idea. She said, Muddler, we need to get down to them, so what I would suggest you do is use me as a shovel.
I'm gonna cast animate objects on her.
Okay.
Because I want to... Yes, because I want a big old hug.
Okay, Susan gets a big hug. And can Susan communicate in any way at this point,
No.
or is she still just an animated boulder?
she's, yeah.
I assume she was
Just
big anime eyes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, house
Yeah,
rules.
but does she have a mouth, is my point.
No, she doesn't get anything extra. She can just,
Okay.
do things. I assume
Okay.
her limbs are able to move and stuff. Like if she had a mouth before,
Okay.
because she said she was a bust, so she has a mouth. But she can't talk.
And does she have limbs,
Okay.
or is she just like a round?
Well,
Boulder.
She doesn't actually have limbs, no.
Okay.
So it's like a boulder that can hop around, like.
Well, actually, it kind of floats, I assumed, when it was under animate mode. That's how I headcanoned it, as actually floating.
90.
90. Okay. As you are hugging her, and it is a warm hug, it is maybe the...
Uh-oh.
First off, I want everyone, both of the people listening at home, to know that I will be publishing the Wild Magic chart, so that you can play along at home and realize I didn't fudge any of these.
Shit.
Okay, this is just how it fucking happened. 90. The DM ran out of ideas. You get a dog.
Okay. Another animal.
This can't be true.
What the? As you're hugging Susan, all of a sudden from behind her, the most adorable dog of your absolutely favorite breed cautiously edges around her, and then walks up and starts nuzzling your ankle.
Then it is of course, it's a golden retriever. What else?
It is a golden retriever, and it is not an actual puppy because they're useless.
Yeah.
It looks to be about a year-old golden
Perfect.
retriever. So it's young enough to totally be a young dog, but also old enough to, eat someone if you need it to. But, yep. a young golden retriever, and it's more nuzzling your hip than your foot. And it's just like, it looks at you with absolute love and adoration in its eyes. It is a good boy, or girl. I don't know. I mean, you can actually decide if it's a boy dog, or a girl dog.
It's a boy dog, I guess.
Okay, he's a boy dog. He's a good boy. His tail is wagging, and he just like, he doesn't jump up on you, but he looks at you like, if you want a big doggy hug, I'll give you one.
I want a big doggy hug.
He leaps up and gives you a big, warm doggy hug, giving you doggy kisses on your nose.
I'm dying.
His tail is wagging so fast that it is creating just like enough wind energy to power Belgium. It's incredible.
Muddler gets a hug too, because he's a good boy.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for trying to rescue us, Muddler.
He goes, I would have made it too. I only had about 37.3 more years to go. I did the calculations in my brain.
I'm gonna hold up the doggy to Muddler's face, so to see if Muddler can get a doggy kiss too.
The dog actually he loves Muddler too. And he gives Muddler doggy kisses on his lack of a nose.
And we're all gonna head out to rejoin the...
Okay.
What's Eliza?
She's just hanging out with Mr. Fancy at the chariot.
Okay, you have to remember, it went into the cave alone. It is returning from the cave with Muddler, with Susan, and with a golden retriever.
Eliza shrugs.
Of course she does.
I mean, I don't know if she's even looking. She's just like, I don't know, chatting with Mr. Fancy or something. Waiting for them to get back.
Alright, I'll pick up the dog and hold on and shove him in Eliza's face.
Okay, Eliza's gonna stare at it like, what the fuck is this thing?
What's the dog do? I want to know what the dog does.
The dog, being an exceptionally good boy, respects Eliza's personal space and doesn't go in for doggy kisses unless it's really obvious that it's welcome. He's the best boy.
Yeah, Eliza's inching back from the dog.
Wow.
Okay, he just sort of like, he's cool with it. He understands not everyone is cool with that kind of intimate contact, especially when you first meet. This dog respects you as a person, and not just as a crotch to sniff. And he sort of like gives you a doggy nod of respect. So anyway, you come into the open with the dog, and Muddler, comes up behind, carrying Susan. He looks up and he sees the 15-foot tall iron golem known as Captain Fancy. And he just kind of like comes to a dead stop, and he looks up and goes, honestly, an iron golem? Don't you think we're stretching the bounds of believability here?
So outrageous to toll. You can lose all you have. He refused to give in to the town that takes off. So